The great sage Sophie was the first person I came across after I defended my lookalike from Finale's grasp, since he had forced him to fight on the swordplay stage after so many losses. There was an ancient temple door in Woohoo Island that the Metopian god guardian spirit opened so I can escape from Finale's wrath. The geography and symbols inside the temple showed a ritual I had to do in order to obtain great power. The ritual was to rehearse the Great Sage song. Originally, I was supposed to travel all around Woohoo Island in search for special instruments of the song as a training course, since the dark forces were looking for me. But since I already knew how the song goes because I played Metopia, I just sang the song myself, and a door opened to where it had the antique charm, the bat charm, the elven charm, a ton of calming fruits and snurp radish meals, all 12 colored street pass magic shirts, and 12 sets of all the Metopian legendary weapons, helmets and armor. I took everything and started beating down all the monsters on the island. Luckily, Finale had left the island before I began my rampage. With all the monsters gone, Sophie appeared from what it looked like the room of light that Mies can change their jobs in, and told me what happened in the Miiverse Earth and all throughout Street Pass Galaxy. I vowed to avenge my lookalike, restore humanity, defeat all the baddies, and prevent Finale from ever creating chaos in the world again. After Finale's defeat, he had continued his life being there for those in need. The Fab Fairies and the elves had hidden the elven retreat from Finale and prevented him and any elven charm archers in his army from getting in. The only way any outsider could get in was through a special dance that only the Fab Fairies know. I was gonna do it, but they also secretly saw me fight the monsters alone, and Sophie had told them about me, so I was trusted by them and they made my archery skills immensely better. They reopened it after Finale was the only serious threat left. They did everything they could to help the other warriors, protectors, and survivors during the final bout. After the war was won, they resumed their everyday elf and fairy lives. Jean was forced to put up with Finale's petty wishes as to why he was so strong. Thankfully, he wasn't able to grant certain wishes that would make him unbeatable, since he would need the guardian spirit's power for them. He offered 3 free wishes to me when I freed him. Wish 1 was to have my own personal portable infinite inventory storage so I can carry, summon and use everything I want at all times instead of keeping them in the Divine Light room that's only accessible when I'm in the Miiverse. Wish 2 was to be able to do all the Mii fighter abilities, Smash Run maxed out stats and World of Light completed skill tree from Smash 4 and Ultimate, so I can fight in ways the bad guys can't keep up with. Wish 3 was to be able to create portals of any size based on the way I channel, so traveling will be more convenient. Jean said that he can grant more wishes to me, but only if I give him money and treasures. He helped out a bit in the final bout. After the war, he just chilled back in next door. Sir Henry Beakley had learned the Earth was in trouble but wasn't able to do anything about it. He had came across Merryweather and Rhys and told them about distant lands that they could take refuge in. They came across the Fountain of Youth and an area with stagnant water in an abandoned part of the world that no traveler or remembered explorer has come across. Finale heard stories of the water but was too lazy to find it himself, yet he was whining about his forces failing to find it. Beakley trusted me with its location because he was watching me and my lookalike fight off the dark forces. After the war, he returned to his home planet, but not before he made sure the secrets histories of the world were recorded well so everyone can bask in the beauty of the ancients. Finale challenged me to life or death game show that would determine the freedom of Party Phil, Party Penny and Axel. Of course, he was the cheating sneak the whole time and would punish me if I were to cheat. The game will even ignore and laugh at me if I caught him in the act, so I decided to cheat the punishments instead of cheating the game. Eventually I won due to a technicality and saved the 3 of them before Finale could try to be a sore loser and kills us on the show. That might have been the most fun I've had in my life. Sebastian, Pedro, Susie, Natalie, Peter, JJ, and Bob had to make music in praise of Finale. They never agreed with him, but they couldn't help but be proud of all of the songs they've made. I liberated the Toot Band and gave them all Metopian Popstar powers and gave Smash Brothers power to Sebastian Toot. Rehearsing with them sharpened my Metopian Popstar skills and sense of rhythm. I had learned how to nullify musical curses thanks to them and my divine power abilities. Their music gave the people hope and happiness before during, and after the war. Crispin was forced to cook for the Finale Empire and everyone always made fun of his cooking regardless if it was jumbo perfect or failed. Flavio and a few of Finale's forces were the only one who appreciated his food. Flavio is just easy to impress when it come to food. Especially since Finale imprisoned him and even tried starving him for being a freeloader. I freed them both and gave Crispin Metopian Chef and Smash Brothers power. Flavio already had Metopian Chef power beforehand, which may explain why he is the roaming gourmet. Crispin is amazing in combat after he got the powers. I was dreaming of this for a long time since he was a little curious on what it was like to be a warrior after feeding the warriors who journeyed to defeat the Dark Emperor. He was more amazing about the food in Metopia and how the monsters that drop and or turn into the food with the skill monster dinner. After Finale's defeat, he expanded his menu to cook more than the street pass meals. He even learned how to cook foods exclusive to the Tomodachi Islands. Dr. Scarlet and her father were turned into zombies but were able to vaccinate themselves and gained an immunity to zombification. She was worried another zombie apocalypse would occur, so they came prepared. I guess Finale never took her seriously but still dragged her into his ranks anyway. I would have been vaccinated completely myself when I was zombified, but Super Simad had destroyed the lab in hopes he would get rid of the ingredients that cures zombification. Dr. Scarlet was able to gather more and cure more people. But in my case, it was in the heat of the moment, so she and my lookalike just gave me what they had. After the war, I was given the properly made vaccine so I can return to normal, but I turned it down because I had found use for my mutated body. My mutated strength and bravery inspired the zombies who had perfect control of themselves to stay as zombies for a new way of life. Dr. Scarlet respected our choice and gave them a vaccine where that can stay as zombies but they won't infect anything. I rescued Mr. Mendel and Mrs. Blossom from Finale's tyranny and gave them both Metopian flour and Smash Brothers power. They were able to preserve the Earth's nature from all the fighting. When the war was over, they returned to their flower business to bring health and happiness to everyone. Shinobu had been forced into a mind-controlling robot ninja armor that made her almost kill me. She even was skilled enough to use the ninjutsu cannon during the fight. I broke her out of it and gave her Metopia Thief, Tank and Smash Brothers power. She took out all the warlords and severely weakened Mechanical Shogun. When the war is won, the demons no longer terrorize ninja towns, and with the end of all the monarchs, the ninja armies settled down in those lands, passing down new ninjutsu for generations. Nico Fire and Iceman were in a car chase after they escaped from Finale's forces. I jumped in and threw off their tracking so they get away safely. When I gave them both Metopian tank powers and gave Nico Fire Smash Brothers power, it inspired them to make all of their slot cars and real cars and even create the vehicles from Pilot Wings Resort. When the war was over, they continue making slot cars including real cars so that everyone can go on real races all around Woohoo Island, Tomodachi Islands, other Street Pass worlds, Metopia and more. Wallace Street and Share Price were forced to be in charge of keeping Finale as the richest man in the world by scamming and stealing from the other millionaires and billionaires of the world. I freed them and gave them Metopian scientist power. They were analysts of our rebellion, keeping account of our equipment, money, power, members and etc. After the war, they were able to restore everyone's assets to the way they were to fix the stock market. The rich people were kind enough to offer up their money for the Earth's survival and protection while also providing for humanity's well-being. Now no one will be poor, homeless, unhealthy or unemployed. It's a dream come true. Iris Archwell got demon possessed by a demon our Zodius made and attacked us. I was able to use divine power to free her and gave her Metopian tank, scientist and Smash Brothers power so she can defeat that demon that possessed her. I can still remember the pure joy and relief on her face when I revived her father after I beat our Zodius. After the war, they both now live in the manor continuing their research with other investigators and scientists for more discoveries. Coraline and her dad had hid away deep in Misty Rear Island in the UFO that was left behind by the alien they saved. The legendary monsters of the sea were protecting them since they sensed something familiar about the UFO, and Coraline was a great caretaker of all the fish. They almost ate me because they saw me as a threat. They were tough too. As expected, since they were experiments from the alien after all. When I found them, I gave Coraline Smash Brothers power and gave her dad Metopian scientist power. They were able to preserve aquatic life from the fighting. When the war was over, they resumed their fishing life. The alien had returned for a bit to see if everything was okay. It would have called its kind to land their attack on Earth after what Finale did. But then it learned about my endeavors and trusted that the mess will get cleaned up without them. I broke into Finale's castle, freed Wentworth, and quickly gave him the Metopian warrior, elf, imp, and Smash Brothers power. His keen intellect and battle strategies made our escape really easy. He even got in a few direct blows at Finale and his army. All that fighting must have awakened his own fighting spirit. Not bad for an old man. Since all the monarchs are gone and Finale defeated for good, he settles down and becomes an instructor at a school called Moral Identity Internalization University, MIU. The Mi-Force captain was well hidden from Finale and Goldbone in a far-off planet. I found him out of pure luck. I gave him Metopian tank and Smash Brothers power to continue defending himself while me and my lookalike handled the rest. He and Goldbone are still at odds, but they both care for the Earth and vow to protect it if they couldn't protect the galaxies. After the war, the Mi-Force continue their service. I feel so bad for what the Dark Curse had to go through. First they kill themselves because nobody liked them, then they get murdered by Finale who liked himself too much. At least their redemption arc gave them the strength to maintain hope for the world and humanity. I would have never imagined they would join with the Dark Emperor to get the world back. That may explain how all the Metopian monsters returned. Thanks to that and Arzodius's Dark Curse attack he hit me with, now I can summon every Metopian monster. I can even put my own eyes, nose and mouth on those monsters for better accuracy for commands I give them. When they learned by my personal Dark Curse, it motivated them to search for the memories of their original self so they can relive their life as before, but with more acceptance and gratefulness of their image. Now everyone loves them and are glad to be their friend. I'm happy for them. I have the utmost highest respect for the Dark Emperor. Even though it wanted to drown the world into darkness, it still couldn't let go of its hatred towards selfish monarchs and dictatorships. It shouldn't have been a surprise that it would betray Finale. The dark magic abilities, the Dark Emperor, Ultimate Ghost and all their monster armies with their colored shields really came in clutch for me. I'm even able to use the Smashed Brothers color magic that Dark Emperor can do. It was amazed at the Smashed Brothers powers I gave it. I may not be able to best it in battle with how well it comprehends with warriors now, especially with it in control of all the monsters and demons from its own Arzodius's, Dark Curses, and Mechanical Shogun's armies. Some of the humans and animals that didn't mind staying as zombies joined as well. Its reign of darkness has scared all of the monarchs and all armies in those monarchs into being simple warriors with experience with everyday jobs. At least peace in the Miiverse Earth won't be boring now. Super Psymad attacked my physical body and turned me into an alien DNA infested zombie. My lookalike gave me the cure, but it wasn't made with the right amount of all the right ingredients, so my body didn't completely return to normal. For some reason, through the memory of my heritage and direct contact with other humans, animals, insects, plants, and monsters, I am able to shapeshift into all of them while keeping my human form. I'm able to change shape and size in all forms and adapt to any terrain, even the vacuum of space. I'm also able to mimic the other zombies and monster attacks. Not only that, I can fully regenerate damage done to my body even if I'm beaten to a single tiny piece of my cell. In fact, thanks to my experience with magic and science potions, that single cell automatically becomes indestructible to where only aging can destroy it. Good thing I stopped my aging with the Omatic sprays. As long as I am careful with my essence, this mutation makes me the ultimate survivor and the perfect human design. Too perfect. Apparently my body feels extremely awesome for my soulmate sweetheart. He just won't get off me. I didn't feel like using the ninjutsu cannon, so I fought Mechanical Shogun the old-fashioned way. Its demon warlords were assisting it, so I had to makeshift a replica of Takamaru from the mysterious Murasame castle to level the playing field. When Mechanical Shogun was defeated, We scrapped its body for parts to give our technology a boost. All the other demons were forced to surrender their weapons, armor and helmets for the ninja villages to upgrade their ninja scrolls and better protect themselves. Dark Emperor advises the ninja demons to not attack the towns anymore since even the former ninja monarch armies decided to settle down in those lands for a new life. What a nice mastermind caring for its fellow dark forces. The Demon King Arzodius had a move that unlocked all the darkness in my heart, soul and mind to where I would lose myself and become an agent of chaos. But my constant isolated self-reflection, my lack of fear of darkness and my own desire to submit to my darkness to weaken my patience for life made me in full control of my corruption. My darkness become its own Metopian dark curse based off of all of my negativity and pain and gained the ability to learn magic and skills of every monster throughout Street Pass and Metopia history. He was a transformation and a summonable clone bent on gathering power and strength for my main goal in life, to end all misery. I let him destroy me and the earth to finally fulfill that desire, but it seems he, or I, couldn't afford to completely let go of my humanity in the process as to why I time rewind revived earth. After I defeated Arzodius by becoming my own demon, I was given the crown of Demon King and could travel to the underworld anytime I want and summon any human soul down there. I gave the role of Demon King to the Dark Emperor, gained Arzodius's abilities and gave the crown to my lookalike. Goldbone had immediately secretly betrayed Finale once he realized how powerful me and my lookalike were after we fought against the Goldbone gang. I gave him Metopian Tank and Smash Brothers power when I learned this and he thanked me by upgrading my spaceship. The Smash Brothers power inspired Goldbone to make a more simpler and stronger Obobone for combat and space travel. He still wants to rule Street Pass Galaxy and the Miiforce need time to rebuild. So I made a deal with him to where I will let him live and rule Street Pass Galaxy as long as the Goldbone gang are always there to protect and fight for Miiverse Earth. The Miiforce captain was against the idea but Goldbone agrees because he could use more space members himself and because he's scared that the Dark Emperor will kidnap him and his gang for wanting to conquer worlds. He slaughtered every last Simad alien and made their home planet his own Goldbone world. The other aliens that Simad had got in contact with that also wanted Earth and or revenge for Simad were killed as well. The Miiforce and Goldbone gang only protecting Earth means the other planets will have to protect themselves from Goldbone with their own space force. I hope for the best for the other worlds. Finale killed everyone who went against his rule, kidnapped and enslaved people with great skill and power including Gene the Genie so he can get wishes granted whenever he wanted, destroyed lands to reshape them into his image. Was able to master all the abilities of me specifically in Street Pass Galaxy, stolen the Smash Brothers power I was planning to give him if he was forgiven and lastly, he killed my lookalike after killing his friends and family and stole his face to prop as a trophy since he was the last remaining human fighter of hope for Miiverse humanity. One-on-one duel my lookalike had with him was just straight up traumatizing harassment. He only did it because he was bored of being above the law and in control of the world. With how powerful my lookalike said he was. In addition to my experience in fighting him myself, Finale could have killed us with a single flick. His pride, boredom, cowardice, selfishness, carelessness, ignorance and pretentiousness costed him his kingdom, his power, his respect for his fellow monarchs and their armies, everything. I was surprised when I learned that I had killed Finale when I blew up my Earth. Serves him right for spying on me so much. As a bonus, I fulfilled my promise to my lookalike which gave him hope that he could be Finale and avenge and restore all the damage he caused. Since he wished for immortality, after his defeat. Dark Emperor and the Guardian Spirit banished him to the underworld and stripped him of all his powers and undid his wishes so he can't come back. If Finale does return, he will never get his powers, skills, equipment, armies and crown back ever again. I wish I had a god like this in my world. Though coming from the various religious stories, I suppose they are all the same. I was just lucky to be the chosen one because someone made a miscalculation and I just wasn't unfamiliar with how things ran in that world. Although, maybe I shouldn't be so negative about it. After all, being in the Miiverse Earth and Street Pass Galaxy was kind of my fantasy since that was the world where all of my actual dreams came true. compared to my universe where all I did was simply crossed petty things off my bucket list. As much as I'm a little happy that after my adventure, my lookalike and the guardian spirit thanked me by giving 11 other people in my world the same power as us, I'm still deathly worried on how our future is gonna be like now. I've been doing my best to keep a low profile ever since I got these powers, knowing how my world is. Even with the times I've deliberately done things to scare others into questioning reality. Now everyone knows, I'm not alone with this power, and there are no real bad guys to beat other than ourselves if we lose sense of reality. All that the 12 of us are gonna be doing is just reviving and stabilizing hope for our world so no one will have ideas of destroying it like I did. Which is good. But we are too powerful. We are basically immortal and invincible. We will live forever being the best role models for the world while watching everyone we grew up with pass away. We can't play God by just keeping them alive or playing favorites with other people so selfishly because life goes on and we can only do enough to prevent any serious chaos from occurring. We shouldn't even bother trying to be superheroes because there are so many problems in the world that magic will never be enough. Oh well. At least I finally have a life partner now. He is somehow the perfect match for me too. This is gonna be tough but fun. Together, the 12 of us will make the world a better place.